Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. Today, we'll recap yesterday's baseball, FIFA, other soccer, and WNBA. Look at everything today. We have golf to make a pick for. It's the Wyndham Championship, the news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with baseball. We'll go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today, and we'll do our thing. So, Phils over the Marlins 3-1. Rays over the Yanks 5-2. Brewers over the Nats 6-4. Pirates over the Tigers 4-1. O's over the Jays 13-3. Braves over the Angels 5-1. Twins over the Cardinals 3-2. Rangers over the White Sox 2-0. How about this? Cubs over the Reds 20-9. Astros over the Guardians 2-0. Royals over the Mets 7-6-10 on a walk-off balk in one of the most embarrassing losses you'll see in Major League Baseball this season for the Mets. Padres over the Rockies 8-5. Red Sox over the Mariners 6-4. Giants over the D-backs 4-3. And the Dodgers over the A's 7-3. Obviously, best bet lost. Alrighty. Today's games at 12:20. You have the Angels at the Braves. Lucas Giolito and Yanni Chirinos. Lucas Giolito's second start as a member of the Angels. The Braves are minus 164. The Angels are plus 138. Over under 10. Over is minus 104. Under is minus 118. Angels plus 1.5 is minus 140. Braves minus 1.5 is plus 116. I like the under. That's way too high of a total. 12:30. Tigers, Pirates. Eduardo Rodriguez and Osvaldo Bido. Tigers minus 126. Pirates plus 108. Over under 8.5. Over is minus 112. Under is minus 108. Tigers minus 1.5 is plus 138. Pittsburgh plus 1.5 is minus 156. So Erod's making the start for the Tigers. For this game, I'm going to go with Pirates under 3.5 runs at plus 110. 1 o'clock, Brewers, Nats, Wade Miley and Mackenzie Gore. Brewers minus 134, Nats plus 114, over under 9, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Brewers minus 1.5 is plus 115, Nats plus 1.5 is minus 138. I like the Nats at plus 114. 2 o'clock, Guardians, Astros, Tanner Bebe and TBD. And it's not Justin Verlander. But the Guardians should not win that game. They have no business winning that game. The Astros are about to take over that division yet again. And if the total is anything higher than 8, I'm probably going to look at the under. Phil's Marlins, skipped one. Padres, Rockies at 3. Joe Musgrove and Kyle Freeland. Padres minus 245. Rockies are 2-1. Over under 11.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Padres minus 1.5 is minus 156. Rockies plus 1.5 is plus 130. Kyle Freeland hasn't been that terrible this year, and Joe Musgrove's actually pitching very well. I like under 11.5. That is crazy. 4 o'clock, Red Sox, Mariners. Cutter Crawford and Logan Gilbert. Mariners minus 124. Red Sox plus 106. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Boston plus 1.5 is minus 200. Mariners minus 1.5 is plus 164. The over is overjuiced. For this one, I like... I like Red Sox under 3.5 runs, minus 102. Now Phil's Marlins at 6:30. Zach Wheeler, Braxton Garrett. Phil's minus 122. Marlins plus 104. Over under 7.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Phil's minus 1.5 is plus 140. Marlins plus 1.5 is minus 170. I like the over. 7 o'clock. Rays, Yankees from the stadium. Shane McClanahan and Garrett Cole. Yanks minus 120. Rays plus 102. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 162. Yanks plus 1.5 is minus 196. So Rays favored on the run line. Yanks favored on the money line. But I like the under full game. 2 aces on the bump. And especially with an offense that can't score a run to save their lives. So under 7.5 is a no-brainer. Orioles, Jays. Grayson Rodriguez and Yasei Kikuchi. Blue Jays minus 122, O's plus 104, over under 8.5, overs minus 114, unders minus 106, O's plus 1.5 is minus 100, Jays minus 1.5 is plus 164. I kind of like the full game under here as well. Grayson pitched really well against the Yankees. I think he's going to go on a little bit of a run. 7:45, Twins Cardinals. Joe Ryan and Dakota Hudson. Twins minus 136, Cards plus 116, over under 9, minus 1 each way. Twins minus 1.5 is plus 116, Cards plus 1.5 is minus 140. That's a hard one, but I kind of like the Cardinals to win outright at plus 116. I actually like Dakota Hudson. He's capable of pitching a good game. 8 o'clock, White Sox Rangers, Dylan Cease and Dane Dunning. Dane Dunning against his ex-team. Rangers are favored, minus 144. White Sox plus 122, over under 8.5. Overs minus 118, unders minus 104. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 166. Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 138. Tough one. I like the under here too. A lot of unders today. Reds Cubs. Brandon Williamson and Drew Smyly. Cubs minus 152, Reds plus 128, over under 10, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Reds plus 1.5 is minus 154, Cubs minus 1.5 is plus 128. This is an overreaction because the Cubs put up a 20, but I like the under. Mets Royals, Cody Senga and Cole Ragans. Mets minus 176, Royals plus 148, over under 9, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Mets minus 1.5 is minus 104, Royals plus 1.5 is minus 115. I refuse to take the Mets on the run line, so I'm going to take the Royals on the run line, plus 1.5 at minus 115. Not suggesting the Royals will win like yesterday, but this is more of a bet against the Mets. 9:45, the D-backs and the Giants. Slade Sassoni making his debut for the Diamondbacks against Logan Webb. Giants minus 168, D-backs plus 142, over under 8, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. D-backs plus 1.5 is minus 144. Giants minus 1.5 is plus 120. I don't like what the Giants did for their trade deadline stuff. Disappointing for sure. Give me the D-backs plus 146 outright in Ciccione's debut. And 10 o'clock, A's Dodgers. Hogan Harris, Tony Gonsolin. Dodgers minus 320, A's plus 260, over under 9.5. Overs even money, unders minus 122. A's plus 1.5 is plus 125. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 150. Tough one. I like over at even money. Dodgers can do that by themselves. All right, on to FIFA. We'll go over the overnight results, and we will look ahead. I believe we have some FIFA tonight. I'm not 100% sure because knockout round should be starting soon. So knockout round starts Friday. All right, so results from the overnight. Sweden over Argentina 2-0. South Africa over Italy 3-2. France over Panama 6-3. Jamaica, Brazil 0-0 draw. 6 o'clock a.m. on Fox. Tomorrow, bright and early, you have South Korea and Germany. So Germany minus 600. South Korea is 14-1. The draw is plus 550. This is Group H. I was wrong about Germany potentially being a letdown. But South Korea lost both their games to Colombia and Morocco. And Germany did lose to Colombia, but they did obviously beat Morocco. So, Germany should win this game going away. I'm going to go over 3.5 goals at plus 162. And then 6 a.m. on Fox Sports 1's Morocco, Colombia, Group H closeout. Morocco defeated South Korea, but lost to Germany. And then Colombia won both its games against South Korea and Germany. So Colombia is going to win the group, so good for them. They're minus 195. Morocco's plus 550. The draw's plus 280. Colombia's on a tear right now. I like over 2.5 goals at plus 125. So the knockout round will begin on Saturday. So we will do our picks for Saturday, Sunday, Monday on the Friday podcast. Alrighty. Other soccer, we'll start with Leagues Cup, which resumes tonight. So it should be a lot of fun. I just have to pull it up really so trying to just pull up I don't know why it's not loading for me. So in the meantime, we're just going to go over friendlies. So from yesterday, Inter Milan over PSG 2-1 and Barcelona over Milan 1-0. Bayern over Liverpool 4-3 from this morning. And then, so today at 12:30, you have Napoli and Girona. We'll go with Napoli there. 2 o'clock, Nottingham Forest and Rennes. Rennes should win that game. 2:30, Wolves and Luton. Luton should win. Leverkusen and Marseille at 2:45. That's going to be a draw. 2:45, SC Furness and AS Roma. I'm going to say AS Roma wins that. 7:30, Juventus and Real Madrid. That's a good one. I think Real Madrid should win. 8:30, ESPNU, Chelsea, Dortmund. That's also a good one. Dortmund should win that. 9 o'clock, ESPN2, Atletico and Real Sociedad. I'm going to say draw. And 11 o'clock on ESPN2, you have Sevilla and Betis. I'm going to say Sevilla wins that one at home. And then at 4 a.m., you have Jeonbuk Motors and PSG. So, that's that. So I'm trying to get up here the Leagues Cup. And then today at 1 o'clock, you have the Emirates Cup between Arsenal and Monaco. We might actually have that game posted up on here. And I do not see it. So I'm going to say Arsenal wins that one. And then Leagues Cup, I'm just going to pull up on FanDuel. So 8 o'clock today, Inter Miami and Orlando, round of 32. Miami's minus 150, Orlando's plus 330. The draw is plus 290. Miami comes from South Group 3 and in Orlando South Group 2. Miami won the group. Orlando came in second. Miami should win with Messi. That team is just poised to make a run. I'm going to go under 2.5 goals, though, at plus 130. 9 o'clock, Mazatlan FC and FC Dallas. So, Dallas was South Group 4. And Mazatlan So, Mazatlan won South Group 1. Dallas came in second in Group 4. Dallas is minus 145. Mazatlan's plus 370. The draw's plus 260. I actually think this is going to be a decent game, and I think Mazatlan did a nice job here with the 5 points. So, I'm going to go with the draw plus 260. Maybe Dallas wins in kicks. Pachuca and Houston Dynamo. Houston came in second in South 2. And Pachuca trying to see where they came from. Oh, they got the bye. That makes sense. Pachuca had the bye with LAFC. Pachuca's plus 170. Houston's plus 145. The draw's plus 220. So I had Pachuca advancing. And I think they will advance past Houston plus 170. There's a reason they have a bye. And then 10:30 LAFC and FC Juarez. FC Juarez is plus 490. It's a dog. The draw's plus 330. LAFC is plus 220 or minus 220. I like over 3.5 goals at plus 150. I think LAFC will put on a show tonight. But the other soccer I really can't pull up because the page on ESPN.com is struggling to load. So now we'll move on to the WNBA. It's not worth my time to rely on it to load. So we'll go over the WNBA from last night. I don't know how many WNBA we have in store for tonight. It's just one game. Liberty over to Sparks, 76-69. Sun over to Lynx, 79-69. Fever over to Mercury, 72-71. And the Aces over to Dream, 93-72 as they clinch a playoff spot. All right, tonight at 10:30, you have the Wings and the Storm. On CBS Sports Network, Dallas is a 6-point favorite, it looks like. And it's actually 6.5. Total's 166.5. I'm going to go with the over. I think that's a low total, and I think that both these teams are very capable of putting up points. So I'm going to take over 166.5 between the Wings and the Seattle Storm. Okay, now we'll move on to golf. We have the Wyndham Championship coming up. So, notable tee times. 6:50. You have Troy Merritt, Adam Long, and Harrison Endicott. 7:01, Stefan Jaeger, Harry Higgs, Jason Duffner, Russell Knox, Michael Kim. 7:12, Dylan Wu, Tanner Gainey, Alex Bailey, Dylan Lingworth, Chasen Hadley. 7:23, Sam Burns, Ches Revie, Stuart Sink, Joaquim Herman, Brendan Todd. 7:34, Trey Mullinax, Nicholas Echevarria, Kevin Stroman, Gary Woodland, Brett Horschel, Brandon Gay, Chad Ramey. 7:45 with Matt Walsh, Justin Thomas, Shane Lowry, Adam Scott, Robert Streb. 7:56, Joel Dahman, Davis Riley, Taylor Moore, Brant Snecker, Scott Stallings, Mackenzie Hughes. 8:07, J.J. Spohn, Nate Hardy, Sam Reiner, Jimmy Walker, Kyungwoo Lee, Peter Malnati. 8:18, Doug Gim, Kramer Hickok, Callum Tarrant, Thomas Dietrich, B.U. Hostler, Davis Lipsky. 8:29, Ben Taylor, Nate Lashley, Davis Thompson, Marion Palmer, Hank Lebiota's 8:40 with Matthias Schwab, C.T. Pun, Bryce Garnett, Cam Percy, Rory Sabatini. 8:51, MJ Dauphin, Nicholas Hojar, Ryan Gerard, Austin Cook, Charlie Hoffman, Estelonzo Goya. 9:02, Ludwig Aberg, Sam Bennett. 12:05, Mark Hubbard, Doc Redmond, Nate Watney, Paul Haley, Austin Spellerman. 12:16, Justin Sue, Andrew Novak, Robbie Shelton, Scott Stevens, Scott Piercy, James Hahn. 12:27, Pat Gazier, Ben Griffin, Grayson Sig, Christian Ziedenhout, Austin Eckroat, Cam Champ, Carson Young. Actually, champs 1238 with Martin Laird, Chris Kirk, Zach Johnson, Matt Kuchar, Harry English 1249, Siwoo Kim, Robert Brem, JT Potson, Adam Svensson, Webb Simpson, Lucas Glover. 1 o'clock, Richie Wierenski, Cam Davis, Grayson Higo, Andrew Landry, Hideki Matsuyama, Ryan Henley. 111, Victor Norman, Sunjay Im, Tyler Duncan, Evan Van Rooyen, Alex Noren, Lucas Donald. 122, Henrik Norlander, Justin Lauer, Aaron Ray, Zach Blair, Kevin Tway, Dylan Fratelli. 133, Matt Neesmith, Jonathan Bird, Ben Martin, Dylan McCarthy, Adam Putnam. 144, Adam Shank, Alex Smalley, Will Gordon, Sengu Kim, Kelly Kraft, Taylor Petrich. 155, Patrick Rogers, Ryan Moore, Adam Hadman, Brian Sword. 206, Michael Glidgick, Brendan Matthews, Trevor Cohn, Trevor Werblow. 217, Brent Grant, Matthias Schmid, Kevin Royd, and Kevin Westmerlin. All right, I have a name in mind, but my biggest fear is that he's probably the favorite to win this tournament because of how of a popular bet he is among bettors to win this event. And if that's the case, then I might have to try to find somebody else to win this event. All right, the guy I'm eyeing is 22-1, so that's not bad. I'm going to lay a fifth of a unit on it, and that is Sunjay Im. He's had very good success at this course in the past, and I think that this is time to shine. So I'm going to lay a fifth of a unit, Sunjay Im, 22-1, to win the 2023 Wyndham Championship. So that's a decent number. All right, now we'll move on to the news and notes for today. If you want to hear my trade deadline recap, I did a separate show on that because that needed its own space. So we will start with soccer today on news and notes. Man City agrees with Gvardiol, Josko Gvardiol, $98 million transfer. He comes over from Leipzig, so that's a good pickup for the EPL champs. So, Italian goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon retires at the age of 45. Great career for him, the Italian goalkeeper. So, that's a sad soccer retirement because he had a really good career. Now we're going to move on to football. Cooper Kupp got injured at practice as he had an apparent injury. And Sean McVay says that Kupp's status is currently unknown as it was a hamstring injury and the Rams are being cautious. Bucs rookie defensive tackle Kalijah Kancey likely out for 4 weeks as he could be ready to return for the Bucs season opener against the Minnesota Vikings. The Las Vegas Raiders are open to a Josh Jacobs extension and mid holdout as they're open to restarting talks. So the 2023 college football season hype video came out as they selected Post Malone's Something Real as the college football anthem for this season. Crazy news for the Pac-12 is they are still without a TV deal as Tuesday's proposed deal primarily consisted of Apple TV Plus streaming with subscription-based payout incentives. So we'll see if Apple and Pac-12 resume talks. So that's something from a media standpoint that we need to keep our eyes out for. Iowa State quarterback Hunter Decker's bet on school sports as he allegedly gambled on 26 Iowa State sporting events, including a 2021 football game when he was a backup. Yikes. You can't really do that if you're a college athlete. But my thing is that you should be able to bet, but not the sport you play. That's my rule. That should be effective. But I think you should get in trouble if you bet on the sport you play, especially a game you're involved in. But if you bet on other sports, I think that's fine. And I think that is just a silly rule that the NFL implied. Meanwhile, those players are getting suspended longer than Deshaun Watson did for what he did. I'm going to keep harping that point until they address that situation. And, of course, they should address that other situation, too. Baseball, the Cardinals wanted a young MLB starting pitcher for Dylan Carlson. That's who the Yankees were looking at trying to acquire. They probably would have had to give up like Clark Schmidt, or I don't know if St. Louis wanted Clark Schmidt, but Clark Schmidt's pitched really well for the Yankees lately. So like I kind of get New York denying a trade, or even St. Louis for the high asking price as they're trying to sell high on him. Bo Bichette considered day-to-day as he avoids structural damage on his knee, but he might still need a stint on the IL. Let's hope he'll be okay. The Mets are still paying Justin Verlander $35 million this year and next, and a $17.5 million option if triggered in 2025. So that's part of why that Astros trade worked out. The Cubs designate Trey Mancini for the assignment after signing him to a 2-year, $14 million deal. That's unfortunate. The Cubs were really hoping for big things for Trey Mancini this year. I wouldn't be shocked if the Yankees ended up picking him up as like a change of scenery. I know he's been terrible this season, but he's better than what they've been trotting out in left field. His power's down, but maybe in a smaller ballpark against the AL East pitching. Like, I could see that as a Yankees fan. They didn't have to give up anything. So, like, I could see that. And I like Trey Mancini. It's just unfortunate that it didn't work out with the Cubs. So there was a loud sell the team chant in Dodger Stadium. So there was a planned protest during Oakland's away series in LA. And that chant was extremely loud. We talked about the Mets' embarrassing walk-off loss against the Royals. Framber Valdez threw a no-hitter against the Guardians. 1 walk and 95 pitches. The league's third no-hitter of the year. You have Valdez. You had, obviously, Domingo Germán with the perfect game. And I don't remember what the other no-hitter was this season. I know there was another one, but I can't think. Was it a combined no-hitter? But I know that Domingo Germán perfect game is going to go down as the single highlight of the New York Yankees season. So I'm trying to think of the other no-hitter for baseball. Oh, it was a combined no-no. The Tigers did the combined no-hitter on July 8th against the Blue Jays. Okay, that makes sense. That one, the combined no-hitters really don't get talked about a lot because combined no-hitters are team effort, although perfect games and no-hitters are team efforts too because you got to make the defensive plays to save the pitcher sometimes. So, good for Framber Valdez. He was in a little bit of a slump, and I think maybe reacquiring Verlander got him inspired. We talked about Dylan Cease and how the White Sox could have gotten a haul for him, and I would have loved that addition for the Baltimore Orioles, but he stood put, and maybe he's an off-season trade guy. We were talking about off-season trade guys at the end of the trade deadline show. Dylan Cease is a good one. I didn't even think about him, unless if the White Sox decide to go in the other direction and try to win. But I could see Cease being, and Tim Anderson, obviously, too, being potential White Sox that could move this offseason. Paul DeYoung had an old Yankees tweet from 2011 as the Jays social team dug it up in welcoming their new shortstop. The first Hard Knocks episode will premiere on August 8th on Max. So, because the Jets are involved, I think we're going to talk about Hard Knocks a lot this summer on the podcast. Kyrie Irving had a viral Twitter reply as he responded to a recent tweet about his lack of success without LeBron. That feels very Kevin Durant-y to me, what he did there. And then you guys need to check out what Nick Young wore for the USC alumni scrimmage, which was funny. All right, and last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So there's a couple I had in consideration. Yesterday's lost, but there's a couple sitting there that I actually really liked. I'm going to do it for a half unit, and I'm going to take under 11.5 between the Padres and the Rockies. Joe Musgrove's pitching great. Kyle Freeland hasn't been that terrible this season. 11.5's high. I get it. It's Coors Field. But if it's a 5-3 Padres win, that's an under and a win for me. So a quarter to unit, under 11.5, even money. Padres, Rockies for best bet. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll be back tomorrow with the regular show. We have the Hall of Fame game tomorrow night. So we have our first football pick of the podcast. So looking forward to that. It involves, obviously, the Jets and the Browns. Zach Wilson will start for the Jets. So we're going to talk some football on the podcast tomorrow. So I'm so excited for that. Finally, the best sport ever returns tomorrow. And I'm looking forward to talking about it with you guys. So we have football and some optimism with the Jets coming. So I need to get a guest on to do some football. I need to get Bobby back on to do some football talk, because I had him on about a month ago, but a lot has happened since I had Bobby on last. So maybe we'll do that soon. All right, guys. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.